Well, folks, at this point, I think we've all heard about Diddygate. But did you hear about Duckygate? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Alexasrewm, where we are not lawyers, we are not medical professionals, we are not law enforcement. In fact, we are not the MSP punching in overtime searching for rubber duckies, but instead, we are just people who have opinions about all things going on in the true crime community, including Duckygate. Now, I thought that this was just a prank that was going to eventually kind of, I don't know, just like an ongoing inside joke within the Free Karen Reed movement. But oh no, my friends, because the MSP would prefer to use your hard earned tax dollars in investigating the real criminals, the people, the evil masterminds behind this crazy conspiracy, slapping witness intimidation charges against those who dare place rubber duckies. My goodness, thank God for sergeants like Yuri Buchanan who charged this monster of a woman with witness intimidation and littering for dropping miniature plastic ducklings on public benches outside of clutching my pearls. Chris Albert's pizza shop. My goodness. Thank God for law enforcement officers like Sergeant Yuri Buchanan. I don't know what we would do without him. So, this article was dropped the other day by Turtle Boy. And again, if you have not been following what's been going on with Canton, I mean, if you've been subscribed to this channel, you know what's been going on with the Canton Select Board meetings, the Canton Police Audit Committee, and all of that. So you probably have a little bit of a gist of what's going on. But for anybody who's new to this channel and is like, rubber duckies, what? This started back up a couple of months ago, back in April or May, according to Turtle Boy. When people started leaving rubber duckies around Canton with phrases that were written at the bottom of it. So, like, Colin Albert did it, Colin was in the house, FKR for Free Karen Reed, stuff like that. Just kind of as like a harmless prank, I guess. I don't know how people came up with the idea or concept of the rubber duckies. Maybe you guys do. If you do, let me know. But some people have speculated because of what Alan Jackson has said of if it looks like a duck and it talks like a duck, then it's a duck. So maybe that's the reason for the duckies. But nevertheless, this seems to be a grave concern for law enforcement in Massachusetts. And it greatly upset the McCabe's and the Alberts, who are witnesses in the Karen Reed case, who immediately called it witness intimidation. And it's so funny because there's so many people out there that are like, this is defamation and harassment and yada, yada, yada. Well, if it was defamation, don't you think they would have sued for defamation if what he's writing and reporting about them isn't in fact true? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, but instead they go for witness intimidation. And now they've slapped witness intimidation charges on these people who are just putting rubber duckies around Canton. And it's as funny as it is, it's kind of scary that people in power can do stuff like this to their people that they're supposed to be serving and to protect. So this is a picture tweet from somebody who's like, Karen Reed's good friend is harassing a witness in her case because they're leaving. This is textbook witness intimidation. It's pressuring a witness to say what Karen wants to help her case. Meanwhile, it's like Karen Reed has nothing to do with any of this. You think Karen Reed's like, Alan Jackson, Yannetti, I got it. We must unleash the hounds and send rubber duckies across all of Canton. Mwahaha. Descend, duckies, descend. It actually reminds me kind of like in Batman Returns with the Penguin when he just sends all of the penguins out to destruct Gotham City at one time. I mean, this is literally what it's come down to, folks. Maybe this is what Lori and Chad Daybell were talking about, right? In the same world, and he's right, in the same world, people would just laugh at stuff like this, but not in Norfolk County because this is clearly upsetting to Chris Alberts and his family. So the Canton Salute Duckies there. We got our free Karen Reed Ducky, her cowboy hat and her pink, right? We got some more. Oh, there she is, beautiful, looking cute as can be. More free Karen Reed, Turtle Boy, Green Ducky, right? More free Karen Reed. And again, it's like, what is FKR? What does free Karen Reed have anything to do with witness intimidation? That's not even related to Chris Albert or anything like that. It's not threatening. It's just literally, and it's an acronym for free Karen Reed, but it could really be an acronym for anything. So it's just so absurd. Oh, and at Fenway Park, look at that. Oh, how nice. Yep. All these cute little duckies ready to descend like good little soldiers. Months ago, it was reported by Chief of Police Helena Rafferty that an investigation into who was dropping rubber duckies around town had begun. So again, yeah, this started a couple of months back and well into the trial already. It was rumored that Sergeant Detective Yuri Buchanan, he was spearheading this very serious investigation. So this is from Boozy.
Duck, duck, goose, motherfucker! I don't even know how to tell this story because it's so fucking ridiculous. This right here is Chris Albert's pizza shop in Canton, Massachusetts. This Chris Albert, who was on Canton's select board. There was a man that thought it would be funny to play a prank on Chris Albert. So he got a bunch of rubber duckies, legit a toy, put free Karen Reed on it, and stuck it on the ledge of D&E Pizza in Canton. Guess who Chris Albert called directly to investigate the rubber duckies? Yeah, you're seeing that right. Yuri Booka Quack, 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 quack. Chris Albert.
Oh my god. It really is. It really is so ridiculous.
Called a Mass State Police officer to investigate rubber duckies. I wish I was making this shit up, but this is a real thing. And it goes more from there. Yuri used rubber gloves and tweezers because now all of a sudden he knows how to properly investigate a crime scene of rubber duckies. Yuri got 2 search warrants on this man that put out the rubber duckies. How the fuck? What? So let's break this down. He didn't call a Canton police officer. He called a Mass State police officer to investigate rubber ducky child toys. And then somehow Yuri was able to go through the system and get 2 search warrants for fucking rubber ducks.
I just want to know what judge approved that warrant. Like, can you imagine going to a judge and being like, yo, Beverly Cojones, can you sign off on this search warrant for this very serious investigation? I think it could be world ending of rubber duckies in Canton. Like, I cannot, but the madness continues. So definitely go give Boozy Beauty a follow. She's fantastic. But nothing ever came of it. So again, they just use this as a way to intimidate, to kind of keep everybody at bay. This is what I've gathered. Keep everybody at bay until Karen Reed goes through her retrial, I guess. I don't really know what the point of all of this is, right? Like, what is this to get people to stop? You're just getting people to scream louder. This week, though, a mother of 2 young children was sent a summons to appear at Stoughton District Court for a magistrate's hearing to face charges, including 1 count of felony witness intimidation and 2 counts of misdemeanor littering. So if you aren't familiar, Turtle Boy's like facing up to 120 years for 16 counts, but I'm curious to know like what the minimum sentence is. So according to the Googs, I love this little AI overview. It makes searching for information so much easier. So um, the punishment for witness intimidation in Massachusetts is up to 10 years. So I'm assuming it's per count. For Turtle Boy, he's facing 120 years, whereas this woman is probably only facing up to 10 years. But still, I mean, it's like you're just a regular suburban mom with kids living your life like normal. And you think, oh, this is a cute little funny thing. Like, I want to get in on the joke, I want to be a part of something. And then she gets hit with a summons, and 2 counts of misdemeanor littering. Oh, wait, I gotta actually look. 2 counts of misdemeanor littering, Massachusetts. Is it a fine or oh, okay, so first offense is up to 500 $5,500, and for I guess because it's 2 offenses, then it's up to $15,000, and potential seizure of your car? What? 2 counts of misdemeanor littering on a suburban mom? Like, okay, guys. Yeah, uh-huh. I'm yeah, totally tracking. So, this is the summons. But the incident occurred on July 10th. So, this is from over 2 months ago. It began with an unrelated incident in which Chris Albert texted Sergeant Buchanan on his personal cell phone, nonetheless, not on his police issued phone, or not even calling his brother at the freaking Canton police. Well, I guess at this point, Kevin Albert was still on his paid vacation, right? To report that a woman outside on a public, but you could have hit up Baby Berkowitz, right? He's got some pull now that he's getting a promotion. That a woman outside on a public street made a GUN motion to her head. The woman who was also charged told Buchanan that it wasn't a threatening GUN motion, but the kind that Al Bundy jokingly made every time Peggy wanted to have sex. And I mean, that's fair if Proctor can claim, oh, well, it was just a poor joke about him talking about Karen Reed in a disgusting, depraved way, or Kevin Albert joking about how he misplaced his firearm and badge and how he was going to soak up the overtime. Like, those were all jokes, but this woman making a gesture like that could not possibly be a joke. I mean, call the freaking SWAT team. Buchanan instead immediately deployed Trooper Sean Kelly and Trooper Zachary Clark, who was listed as a witness for the Commonwealth, which I didn't know that, to begin collecting surveillance video from the area. So this is from this report. On Wednesday, July 10, 2024, at approximately 10:47, you can't even read this like serious, right? 10:47 a.m. Christopher Albert, Select Boardman, Esquire, Extraordinaire, notified me of an incident. He can't even say it's an, it's not it's an, of an incident. My God, did you go to school, my guy? Did you go to grade school? Clearly not. That had just taken place outside the D&E pizza shop. Chris considered, now he's Chris. He goes from Christopher Albert to Chris. Chris considered the event to be threatening in nature and felt compelled to report it. That sounds like Jen McCabe talking about how she was so afraid and so scared of Turtle Boy, right? Felt compelled to report it to law enforcement. It should be noted that Chris is one of the Commonwealth's witnesses in an unaliving case and has been the victim of repeated attacks on social media platforms. My God, I mean, they're talking about him like he's a freaking celebrity, as well as over the phone and in person at his pizza shop. Chris is the owner and operator of D&E Pizza, which is located at 618 Washington Street in Canton. Chris's identity, as well as his family members and relatives, have also been the subjects of targeted character attacks, as well as the release of their personal information to include phone numbers. I mean, I don't does anybody know their phone number? I don't know their phone number, and I don't care to know their phone number, but their pizza shop phone number is public. Like, how do people place an order for a pizza? Home and workplaces. Like, it's a public restaurant. You have a business telephone. You look up D&E Pizza, and it's right there on Yelp. It's right there on Yelp, which is commonly known as doxing. Chris made the aforementioned notification over text message. I don't know why that's capitalized. The screenshot of which is included with this report. The conversation included the following. And, like, again, if you're really afraid, if it really is witness intimidation, you don't call your buddies, you call 911. Like, if you feel your life is threatened. Chris, hey. So, I just had two women, two women outside, because none of these people clearly took like fifth grade English, but okay. This is gonna bother the heck out of me. Outside my shop taking pictures, which is fine because this is a fine establishment I have, right? Then one woman lifted her hand and made a firearm motion to her head. I watched it, and I have it on video. Real clutch the pearls moment. Sergeant Buchanan, please email it to me. Sergeant Buchanan, why wouldn't you? At this point, you're texting each other. Why wouldn't you just have him text it to you and then just send it to your work phone? I don't get it. Sergeant Buchanan, do you know who these women are? Chris, no clue. I'll email them to you. I advised both Trooper Kelly and Trooper Clark that I would need their assistance in the area of six, because we need all hands on deck, guys. Like, this is not a one man investigation. We need all the duck power, all of it. Somebody call Dog the Bounty Hunter because this is getting real. Trooper Kelly assisted me with collecting relevant surveillance video from the area to include footage from CF McCarthy's, and Trooper Clark assisted with documenting the relevant evidence with digital photographs. It should be noted that the still video footage provided by Chris was queried through an automatic license plate reader. So now they're pulling her license plates because I guess they're trying to see, like, oh, who is this woman? Which revealed the suspect vehicle in question to be a gray, silver, and color GMC Sierra bearing Massachusetts registration. The suspect vehicle is captured arriving in the area in close proximity to the incident taking place outside of D&A Pizza, and also has matching dent damage on the driver's bedside of the pickup in the area of the gas cap door. I mean, such a thorough investigation. I wonder why they didn't look into Officer John O'Keefe's unaliving with such due diligence. But they have a reason for that, right? Because Karen Reed did it. They got the bad guy, right? Keep in mind, this is the same state police that didn't pull a single ring camera video. That's right. From any homes or business in Canton after Karen Reed allegedly struck John O'Keefe with her car, despite the fact that it would have shown the condition of her taillight as she allegedly fled the scene of a murder, even though Adam Lally said it in that first, in her bail hearing of, hey, we got the footage. And everybody believed them. We're like, oh, this is case closed. How more easy could this be? Case closed, period, end of story. And if anybody can show me any ring camera footage proving that she did hit him, then I'm all for, yes, lock her up. She should serve time. But there's no evidence. There is none of that. Like, how easy is it to pull ring camera footage? And I hope the defense calls a ring camera expert, somebody from Ring, to talk about how those files can be deleted or not deleted. Because I really do think that's going to be an important piece for the defense improving their case in round two. Chris Albert's delicate sensibilities got a more thorough police response than a dead cop on Brian Albert's lawn. Yeah, and look at them with the Canton salute right there. So nice. Nice, upstanding man. Very nice. Shortly after that incident, Chris Albert contacted Buchanan again to tell him about a completely unrelated incident involving a completely different set of people. This time he said that there were 2 females and 1 male who left CF McCarthy's and dropped small rubber duckies on Washington Street, a public road. So again, it's like, dude, like this has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your pizza shop. It has nothing to do with any of the above. So why does it matter? Why are you still talking about this? One of the ducks was dropped on the bench outside of D&E Pizza, which prompted the emergency call from Chicken Park Chocolate. I needed a laugh today, guys. I really did. Trooper Kelly immediately sprung back into action, right? Using the detective skills he learned in the academy, because that's, I guess, what they learned. They have Rubber Ducky Investigation 101. To pull surveillance videos and carefully document and photograph the 2 rubber duckies as they entered into evidence. They were shocked. They were shocked in horror to see that these 2 rubber duckies had FKR written on them, which, according to Buchanan's report, has become a symbol of harassment, and witness intimidation. While Trooper Kelly and I were responding to the area of Washington Street, Chris contacted me over the phone and advised that there was yet another incident out front of the pizza shop. This time, it's not like they even left it in the pizza shop. It was outside on public roads. This time, Chris advised that a male and 2 females were walking away from CF McCarthy's while carrying to-go plates and left numerous small rubber ducks on Washington Street. One of the locations where the rubber duck was left on a bench was on a bench in front of D&E Pizza. Chris once again confirmed that the incident was on video, which he provided, and now is digitally attached to this report. It should be noted that rubber duck littering instances have been taking place on Washington Street, along with other areas of Canton that are associated with the murder case witnesses' home, along with the Karen Reed case's witnesses' homes. Some of those rubber ducks have had stickers affixed to them to the bottom stating Colin did it. Colin Albert is a witness in the case as well, and has no pending charges against him related to the O'Keefe unaliving. It should also be noted that Colin Albert is Chris Albert's son. Well, poor baby Colin Albert, but he has no problem making threats on Snapchat, now does he? Or committing perjury on the stand. Like, no problem there, right, buddy? Upon our arrival at the scene, Trooper Kelly and I canvassed the neighboring businesses for video surveillance. How much you want to bet, like, this is the most in-depth report this man has ever put together, right? He was probably so excited. Like, it's like so in-depth. Like, we got them, guys. We got the rubber ducky masterminds. To include CF McCarthy's restaurant. While at CF McCarthy's, as we were able to identify 3 individuals who visited the restaurant for lunch, arriving at approximately 11:42, and then at approximately 12:40 leave the restaurant walking towards D&E. The younger female out of the 3, who was later identified as blank, is seen on D&E Pizza video depositing the rubber ducks just revealed itself on the bench out front. See attached video from both locations. Chris had removed the small yellow rubber duck from the bench out front of his business and brought it into the pizza shop awaiting our arrival. Once at D&E, Trooper Clark documented the duck with digital photographs, which are attached to this report. The bottom of the duck had the letters FKR written on it with a black marker. It should be noted that the letters FKR are commonly used to represent the Free Karen Reed movement, which is associated with the John O'Keefe unaliving trial. The Free Karen Reed content has been utilized to harass and intimidate the witnesses in the unaliving case. Additionally, the second duck which Chris pointed out, was located on a fence along the sidewalk on the even numbered side of Washington Street, just a couple businesses down from D&E Pizza. And again, it's like, this is nothing. Is anybody else reporting like, hey, I feel harassed? Like, hey, they're littering. I'm pissed that these ducks are all over my building or around my building. No. That duck was also photographed and collected as evidence. Got 'em, boys. Lock up them ducks. Trooper Neil Gendron was added to the case and ran. Who the hell is this? Another douche canoe? Another rubber ducky consultant. We got to bring in the big guns now, guys. Trooper Neil, here we go. Extraordinaire. Secret agent, special agent Duck was added to the case and ran the plates of the getaway driver. The getaway driver's vehicle who was seen transporting the Ducky choppers. They visited the home of the car owner within 2 hours of the incident. Wow, that was so freaking quick. Wow, it takes no time for you to roll up on this poor woman. Meanwhile, it's been what? Almost 2 weeks since Enrique Delgado Garcia was brutally unalived, beaten to death during a training exercise within the MSP Academy? Like, but priorities, right? Priorities. Ducks come first. They visited the home of the car owner within 2 hours, who greeted them with, "What took you so long?" According to the woman, they made no contact with Chris Albert, but he immediately came out of the pizza shop the moment he saw the ducky drop and confronted them over it. So if you're so scared and intimidated, like, this is my interpretation of feeling intimidated. If I'm afraid, intimidated, scared for my life, I'm not going to confront anybody. I'm calling 911 and being like, "Hey, I feel scared. I feel like my life could be potentially in danger." I'm not going to instigate the situation further. But the way Chris Albert expresses fears a little bit differently than most of us would. While collecting the surveillance video from CF McCarthy's, I also requested that the business provide the transaction receipt associated with the table. But yet you can't determine how many drinks Karen Reed drank that night, right? But okay. Where the party of 3 sat for lunch. The receipt is attached to this report and indicates a credit card transaction which was paid for by a card belonging to blank. Chris further provided a photo he took of the vehicle, which was used to leave the area by the 2 older individuals. That vehicle was a dark blue in color, blank SUV, bearing Massachusetts registration, blah, blah, blah. A query of the license plate revealed that the vehicle is registered to a blank out of blank. So I guess then this other person, it isn't even from Massachusetts. At approximately 2:55 p.m., Trooper Gendron and I traveled far and low to speak with and get her account of the events, because this is serious, guys, and the purpose behind their actions of littering the rubber duckies on Washington Street in Canton. The conversation was audio and video recorded with my state police issued body worn camera. Well, that's interesting, because I'm so curious to see what other body cam footage there is the night that John O'Keefe was unalived. And the footage, along with a complete transcript, is included with this report. The following is a summary of what Blank stated and shared with us during the conversation Blank opened the door, and the first thing she said was, "What took you so long?" This is prior to us introducing ourselves and advising her that she was being audio and video recorded. Well, I mean, not for nothing, dude. You've been doing this for a lot of people. So people are expecting Sergeant Buchanan and the good old boys to roll up and give them a spanking. That's what people are expecting at this point. So yeah, that's a natural response. Once Blank agreed to speak with us, she asked what this was all about, to which I began by explaining that it had to do with her visit to Canton, at which time she interrupted me, stating, "I know." Blank asked if she could explain what happened, which I obliged. Blank told us that she and her husband, retired Boston firefighter. Now you're trying to disrespect your brother in the Boston Fire Department as well, too. That's a really great look, Buchanan. Went to lunch at CF McCarthy's, which is where their daughter also met them. The two of them, her and her daughter, collected small ducks in the ladies' bathroom of the restaurant, and they proceeded to deposit the found ducks on Washington Street. At this point, um, Blank came, the husband, I guess, came to the door and asked what this was all about. Having been told it's an investigation we are conducting, requested to just share her version of events so that it doesn't turn into something bigger than it was. Blank went on to share that the owner of the pizza shop presented himself from inside, confronting the group, stating something along the lines of how mature, and then it just ends there. I've seen it also being reported, though, that he said how mature loser or something like that. I don't know. This is what is in Buchanan's report. So can we even take anything he's writing as truth? Probably not. Once again, confirmed that she obtained the ducks from inside the bathroom of CF McCarthy's. Like, so what? Are you going to prosecute? Like, are you going to arrest the employees of CF McCarthy's who stocked the bathroom with ducks? Like, come on now. I asked if she herself placed the ducks into a container, to which she stated that the ducks were probably inside her daughter's pocketbook. I advised that the ducks are pulled out of a small bag by her and her daughter, and the event is on video, to which she stated, I don't know. Buchanan let the 70-year-old woman know that the state police were looking into charging. So she's 70? This woman is 70 years old. 70 years old. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? I hope your mother gives you a strong finger wagging later tonight, Buchanan, because that is not how you treat your elders. That is not. My gosh. I'm sure this woman has never in her life been charged with anything before. I mean, I'm just speculating, but I'm assuming, let alone litter. How many people per year are actually fined with litter, like charges? Charged with misdemeanor littering charges? Probably not a high percentage, is my assumption. Unless you live in Massachusetts. Beware, guys, beware. And demanded to know what her intentions were for the ducky drop. He also referred to Chris Albert as a victim. Okay, okay. Because a rubber ducky was dropped onto a public bench on a public sidewalk that he does not own, even despite what he thinks. Despite what he thinks, right? I attempted to have Blank identify her daughter, at which time she stated that she wanted to know what her rights were and that she didn't need to tell us anything right now, and requested Trooper Gendron's name as well as my business card, which she was provided both. Blank stated that they did not mean any harm and that she was being honest. Yeah. While attempting to explain to Blank the harm that her actions caused and the threats which were communicated just prior to their arrival in the area, she interjected with a question asking if I wanted to get her for littering. I advised that littering is a violation and would be on the table as one of the charges. She honestly probably gave him the idea, and he's probably like, "Ooh, this is yeah, littering. That sounds great." I then asked what her intent was behind leaving the ducks and how many her and her daughter left on Washington Street, to which she said that they left 3 ducks altogether on Washington Street, with the third duck being left in a plant. Blank asked me if I was serious about how seriously we were handling this investigation and treating the situation. I explained how the victim You know who's a victim? Officer John O'Keefe. You know who was a victim? Sandra Birchmore. You know who was a victim? Enrique Delgado Garcia. Not Chicken Parm frickin' Charlie. Give me a frickin' break. In this matter had been threatened just prior to the walking by and leaving Ducks. If he was so intimidated, why did he confront them? Like, this is the funniest thing. It was like when he confronted Turtle Boy too, as well, and threatened to what, beat his face in up and down the street if he could, he would. That's not somebody who is intimidating. Oh my gosh. And leaving ducks with messages on them, at which point Blank asked if Mr. Albert was the victim, indicating she was well aware of who Chris Albert is and his connection to the location where the ducks were left. Blank stated that she had made plans with her daughter to go to lunch at C.F. McCarthy's the week prior, since it's a halfway point between the two residences. And mind you, Buchanan was under internal affairs investigation. Now, he got essentially a spanking, like a very light love tapping to his bum, to his gross, ugh, he's so creepy looking. He looks like a cartoon character. But still, at this point, he was still under internal affairs investigation. So, Blank went on to say that they definitely meant no harm and that the whole thing was silly. She further stated that she is not blind and is aware what had been taking place at the courthouse during the trial. She has never worn a pink shirt, referencing the color of her dress being like the duck. Blank stated that she sincerely apologizes to the owner and that she honestly hoped that the situation did not turn into anything. I mean, yeah, it's like you're scaring this poor innocent woman. Mentioned that they are pretty clean people and that I could check her record and that they also mind their business and that she was sorry it happened right after the threats incident. Blank once again stated that although it was a silly move, there was no harm intended by their actions. Blank was asked how many of their party went to the restroom, to which she stated that both her and her daughter went to the ladies' room. That is not how you spell ladies, but okay, this is so hard to read. My God. Grammarly. It's an app. You can use AI tools to help you spell things correctly. Blank was then asked if they both picked up a duck from the bathroom, to which she stated that she picked one up. When asked if her daughter also picked one up, stated that she didn't know. This interview is like probably longer than the one with Jem McCabe. Jeez. When asked if her daughter picked one up, Blank stated that she didn't know. When asked follow-up questions if she placed the duck into her daughter's purse, exclaimed that she didn't know and did not have to answer any of the questions. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have to answer. She literally, honestly, shouldn't have spoken to them, period. Like, lawyer up, get an attorney, don't let these guys bully you. Because they will. If they feel like they can, they will. I explained, because that's all they are. They reek of, I peaked in high school. My wife is unsatisfied with me in the bedroom, so I have to wield my weapon, my lethal weapon, my micro peepee, to assert my dominance and make me feel like more of a man. That's literally all it is. And I'm so sick of it. I'm so freaking sick of these bullies. It's disgusting. I explained to Blank the extent of some of the issues that have been felt by the witnesses in this case, to include some of the toll that's been felt by their family members, stated that she knew and agreed with what I was saying. Blank came over to the door once again and stated that I have made my point and that the heat was getting into the home. I thanked Blank for her time and advised her that we would be in touch by either phone, letter, or in person. Letter? What? Or not personal text, I hope, though, right? Did you give her your personal cell? Once again, extended her apologies and added there was really no harm done, at which time I stated that there may have been no harm intended, but the harm was done. What harm? What harm, aside from the fact that nobody wants to eat his crappy pizza? I mean, we see in the one-star reviews. At which I stated there may have been, at which time blank stated that I was right and there was no harm intended. Yeah, exactly. Blank was made aware there being a message written on the duck, at which point she asked what the message was. I did not reveal to her the actual lettering. Well, why not? Because she asked you. But instead stated that since she had possession of the duck, she must have seen the message. Blank did not confirm the message, and we left the area without further interaction. After that, he tracks down her daughter, who lives 40 minutes away. 40 minutes away. And you know he's clocking in that overtime because we read that Kevin Albert report. And we know how overtime is clocked and how they can get paid for overtime. She explained that she had seen the rubber duckies in the waterfall bathroom and thought it was funny that people were dropping them all over in Canton, because it is. It's hilarious because this whole trial is a freaking clown show. It is funny. It's ridiculous. And it's sad. It's absolutely disturbing and sad. Which inspired her to order some rubber duckies and bring them with her the next time she came to Canton. I mean, it's not illegal to buy rubber duckies. It's just not. Utilizing an open source social media platform, investigators identified blank. So, are you talking about Twitter? Like, can we just like open source? What the? What? Twitter. Probably Twitter or Facebook. Like, let's just call it what it is. Investigators identified blank as one of the daughters. It should be noted that blank's now married name is blank. Following several attempts to make contact with her at her residence located at blank, I was able to finally speak to her on July 18th, 2024. See attached audio and video BWC footage. The following is a summary of our conversation. Following formal introductions, confirmed that on July 10th, 2024, she had visited CF McCarthy's with her parents for lunch. So, yeah, with the 70-year-old woman and the retired Boston Fire Department, like, firefighter. Unbelievable. I asked Blank to walk us through what took place that day, and she confirmed that she had spoken to her mother about the incident prior to our arrival. Blank was concerned about the potential charges that would be brought against them and the reason why she was being interviewed. I explained to Blank that we were looking into the incident, but the charging decisions come from the DA's office, and we know how Michael Morrissey operates. That's why she's sweating here, because we know how freaking bat ass crazy he is, right? In the court system. I further explained the incident as it was reported to us, as well as some of the major circumstances that evolved around it and the evidence which we were in possession of. I went on to ask Blank about where the ducks, which they had deposited, came from. Blank responded by telling me that her husband is from Canton, and they are also members of the Blue Hills Country Club in Canton. On one occasion, the family was at the Waterfall and Grill, Bar and Grill, in Canton, and while in the ladies' room, again, he spelled ladies' room wrong, stepped on a tiny little duck with the letters "Free Karen Reed" on it, or FKR written on it. Blank stated that she thought it was funny, and she showed it to her mom. According to Blank, they laughed about it, which, yeah, it's funny, Yuri. It's funny. You know, it's not funny though. You doing that weird, gross strip tease at that wedding. That was disturbing. She made it clear that she just thought it was cute and funny and wasn't affiliated with Turtle Boy, which clearly Buchanan was trying to insinuate she was. Buchanan grilled her about where she got the ducks from and when the purchase took place. On another occasion, Blank stated that she was going to lunch at CF McCarthy. She thought it, meaning the duck deposits, was a cute little thing people were doing, and she did not consider it criminal, because it's not. It's not. They just make up these things in Canton or Massachusetts, period. Simply thought it was a cute little thing people were doing, and she did the same thing by bringing ducks with her to CF McCarthy's. Blank went on to say that she is in no way associated with Turtle Boy and that she is just a mom with 2 kids. I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare, man. once again reiterated that she thought that leaving the ducks was just a cute little thing that people were doing and did not mean anything by it. When asked about the free Karen Reed message on the bottom, Blank stated that she thought it meant free Karen Reed. Blank told us that the leaving of the ducks around Canton meant showing support for everything that's going on. Yeah, because you're allowed to protest, you're allowed to leave, you're allowed to believe and speak your mind freely. That is what the First Amendment says, does it not? When asked who she was showing support to, Blank said she was in no way, shape, or form tried to do anything illegal, criminal, or rude. We were further told that Blank is willing to cooperate with us, but she isn't aware of anything else that is going on in Canton. At this point, I asked Blank what her intention was by picking something up out of a public bathroom and then transporting it to a location in front of another business. Blank responded by telling us that she placed a duck on a bridge in Canton. Also, Blank told us there was no intent to place the duck in front of D&D Pizza, and that was purely coincidental. Although Blank stated she followed the trial, she claimed that her father barely followed the trial at all. It should be noted that on surveillance video, Blank is seen gesturing to the bench, but Blank stated that he had no influence on her decision to place the duck in front of D&D Pizza. And who cares if he did? It's a public bench. Who freaking cares? Why are we talking about this? Blank told me that she learned about the duck business and them being left all over Canton afterwards and is only reading about it now and did not know it was going to turn into something else. I asked Blank about the ducks she had on her possession on July 10th, 2024, where they came from, to which she stated, I don't even know what to tell you the truth. We have a bunch of little ducks. They were literally the same ones that we found at the place. We kept one. I once again asked, where did she get the ducks? To which she said that she purchased them on Amazon. Like, where do you think? Like, some covert, like, we smuggled them in from Mexico over the border. Like, Jesus. When asked when the purchase took place, she stated that she did not know. I asked Blank if she wrote the message FKR on the duck, which was left on the bench out in front of D&E Pizza, to which she replied that she could have, but she was not certain. Blank stated that she did not know that Chris Albert's pizza shop was next door to CF McCarthy's. Blank stated, because she's not from Canton. She's not from Canton. Blake stated these are just ducks, and even if she did, who cares? Who freaking cares? He has a business. It's public. He was a witness in a highly publicized unaliving trial. People are going to know. People can Google. It's called the internet. It's called the 21st century. Not illegal. I attempted to explain how her gesture could feel insignificant, but when totaled up with all the other harassment, it builds into something very serious. What are you talking? What other harassment? What did this woman do? But go out to lunch with her parents, her elderly parents. Blank assured me that in no way did she try to perpetuate the intimidation and harassment with her actions, and that I had her word in that. When asked the reason why Blank purchased these ducks, her response was that they have children and that they have crates of toys. As the conversation continued and stated, she also left a duck inside CF McCarthy's, in addition to the one on the small bridge she described. He then lectured her about how the seemingly harmless gesture of dropping rubber duckies on a public bench builds into something very serious. Factor in all the harassment. Paul, Christopher, Chrissy, Chicken Farm, Charlie, Albert. All the pain and suffering. And, like, I mean, what's really illegal and criminal is, like, you need to find clothes that fit you, sir. It's a little offensive to the eye. He filed a criminal complaints against this woman for a felony witness intimidation and littering, and filed his entire interview of her with the courts. And this is public record. You cannot make this up, guys. Only in Canton, only in Massachusetts. He walked up to her house and creepily began talking to her preschool age son, asking him about his toys, which is like, so why are you talking to her kid? Why in the heck are you talking to her kid, you weirdo? What's up, buddy? What kind of dinosaur you got there? Or is it an alligator? So I guess this is the mother. Okay, all right. Buchanan, yeah, no problem. So we're just investigating an incident into July 10th. I guess you guys went to CF McCarthy's for lunch with your mom and your dad. Yes. Can you just walk me through what like what took place? What if anything? I know you talked to your mom, so yeah, you kind of know what we're looking into, but you can't just today, Junior. Tell me what you remember about. So I guess first, if it's fair for me to ask, I'm just curious as to why we're being investigated into. Like are we being investigated and are there charges being brought against me? That's a fair question. You're just rolling up to this woman's house and you're like, "Yo, I got some questions." It's like, "Well, why are you even here in the first place?" So we're looking into it right now. The charging decision comes from the district attorney's office. So what would I be charged with? Again, those decisions are made. Stay inside. So I guess she's talking to her kid. Those decisions are made at that level, but ultimately the report to us was that ducks were left in front of the Chris Alberts business. The Chris Alberts, yes, the Chris Alberts, guys, the one, the only, with the messaging on the bottom of them. You're on video leaving those ducks. We caught you red-handed. Bring out the dancing duckies. Okay. You're on video pulling those ducks out of a container in your purse. It's like they're treating them like the freaking Boston Marathon, like I can't say the word, but blommers, you know? I freaking hate YouTube sometimes, honestly, but you know what I'm saying. You're on video pulling those ducks out of a container in your purse or some sort of bag. Okay. I just love these. Okay. And then, when I talked to your mom, she told, us, like, this guy is, like, he doesn't even know how to communicate in a full fully thought out sentence. Told us that you guys were the ones that placed the ducks there, but she had a recollection of, where the ducks came from, so I, just wanna get it from you where the ducks came from. Like, where do you think people buy yeah, let me go to the black market to get to make a mass bulk purchase of ducks to descend onto Canton and Washington Street and attack beloved select boardman Christopher Albert. The woman has asked that her identity not be revealed. She is quite shaken up from this. She comes from a well respected family, is a loving mother of two, and is now worried these corrupt cops are trying to put her in jail like they've done to me and Karen Reed. Yeah, I mean, it's believable. I'd be terrified too. He then grilled her and treated her like a criminal in a way that they never did to Brian Albert. And I can only imagine who, because I was just thinking about this earlier as I was like earlier today when I was working out, like if this took place at anybody else's house, I'm talking about the unaliving of John O'Keefe. That took place at anybody else's house. You know, they would have pulled the ring camera footage. They would have treated it exactly like how they're going all in with these rubber ducky investigation with Duckygate. They would have went all in, balls to the wall, 1,000%. But because it was Brian Albert's house and a BPD officer, they didn't. Or any of the people, yeah, exactly, who conspired to unalive Officer John O'Keefe. So this is the woman. So we had been to the waterfall a couple of weeks prior. Okay. So my husband and I bought into a club in Canton, Massachusetts. Yep, Blue Hill Country Club. Yeah. So we're always going through Canton. One day we decided to meet for a late lunch with our kids at the waterfall. I had gone into the bathroom and I had stepped on a little duck, smaller than my thumbnail, and I flipped it over. It said FKR. Yeah. I thought it was funny. That's consistent with her mom's story too. Showed it to my mom. She laughed. And then another instance, when we were going to CF McCarthy's for lunch, and I thought it was a cute little thing that people were doing. I did not think that in any way, shape, or form it was considered criminal by any means. I wouldn't. Clean record. Yeah. I never done more than get a speeding ticket. So we thought it was like a thing, like a cute little thing that people were doing. So we did the same thing. Yeah, they want to be part of the movement. They want to be part of something. I did not know that when I put it down in front of Chris Albert's business, I'm being transparent and honest. I didn't know at all. Okay. So that's why I was like very shocked when we get 2 house calls and my mom got a house call because, we're not like, I don't know if like this is also something. We are not all associated with like Turtle Boy or anything like that. Like, I'm a mom of 2 kids and like, yeah, we're in no way affiliated with anything like that, so it was completely innocent. We thought it was something cute, but it's like, leaving like a thought with a message on it during exactly, during the vid. I mean, you know? Yeah. You tell the woman was clearly nervous as this man with a firearm badgered her in front of her kids about what, and he talked to her kid. Like, how disgusting, how despicable. Like, so the FKR, what did that signify to you? You said you saw the message and you recognized it on the bottom of the duck. What did the FKR signify to you? Yeah, I mean, I thought it was free Karen Reed, but free Karen Reed? I was in no, and not for nothing. Can I just say, wouldn't this be a conflict of interest for Yuri Buchanan to be investigating something like this? You were also a witness in this case, sir. You know how bad this looks for you and the rest of your department, aside from just being a complete and utter laughing stock. But also, too, is this not you trying to muddy up the waters and kind of cover your own butt and silence people from practicing their First Amendment right in a case that you are also a witness in? You shouldn't even be talking about the free Karen Reed stuff, let alone with Chris Albert, who's also another witness in the case. You're an investigator. You were one of the investigators. You were under internal affairs investigation. You shouldn't be talking about any of this stuff, no? I was in no way, shape, or form trying to, make it sort of a big statement, just like because I thought it was a cute little thing. I'm sorry, can you just speak up? Yeah, because he's trying to get it all recorded. Yeah. The lawnmower next door, I guess. Yeah, no, I just literally thought it was like cute little duck that people were leaving around Canton. So as you just kind of like, so you tell to support. So you're telling me you had no show support for who? Exactly. Exactly. He's like, "Oh, why aren't you on my side? Because you're freaking creepy, dude. Like, you talk to like people's kids. Like, that's creepy." To just the toe, like everything that's going on. So I was in no way trying to do anything criminal, illegal, rude. In fact, like, I didn't even know about it until I stepped on one at the waterfall. Okay. I thought people were just doing it, So I completely am baffled at that I'm, being questioned about it. And I'm happy to cooperate in any way you want me to, but I am not in any way affiliated with any of the other things that are going on in Canton. Like, I go there only to go to the club. Yeah. We will not be going to any of those restaurants anytime soon. Then Buchanan demanded to know how much she followed the trial and what her intent was when she dropped the rubber dogs. Well, that's fine. The question I guess I have is, when you pick something up from a bathroom, a public bathroom, and you try to decide to put it in and you decide to put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in your purse, and then transport it in front of in front of this business, if you want to call it a business. I mean, I don't know how much longer his pizza shop is going to be in operation, considering they failed their health inspection in 2020. That was posted the other day on freaking Twitter. My God, and how unsurprising that is. To be honest, I put on like a little bridge somewhere, like it wasn't just like a can thing. I don't know. Well, your father, you guys are conversing and your father gestures to the bench. It's on video, so that's why I know. Well, what about the ring camera footage with Karen Reed? Where's that video? Non-existent. Or no, it probably did exist and showed nothing. Your father gestures to the bench and you stop in front of the business. You take it out of your purse, out of the bag. Yeah. And then you put it in front of the business. I can tell you. So you say that that was just coincidental that it happened. I can tell you with a complete and utter certainty that my father, A, barely followed the trial at all. B, had no idea that was D&E Pizza's bench. I didn't even know because it's not. It's not D&E Pizza's bench. It's a public bench, open to the public. Anybody can sit there, even Jim Ferris. I don't even know if they own that bench. They don't. See, literally had no idea about any of this duck business, which I am just reading all about now after all this time. So when did you learn about the duck business? Afterwards. So when I thought, like I said, I thought it was just a cute little duck that people were putting around. I did not know it was going to turn into something so big. Okay, so you say your father didn't follow the trial at all. How much did you follow the trial? I don't see how that's relevant. Watch some of the things. Yeah, saw you and your dumb butt and how you freaking tried to snake your way into saying, "Oh, the inverted video is an accurate depiction of the events that happened," but it wasn't. It's just mirrored. It's accurate. Mirrored means backwards. Backwards and inverted means not accurate, sir. Um, it's hard not to. He's like, probably like, what did you think of me? Was I good? Did I do good on the stand? And now I'm starting to feel like I'm on trial for something. You're not on trial. I know. I'm just asking. I'm just asking these questions too. I'm starting to feel kind of establish your knowledge and your intent and there was zero intent. Zero intent to put the duck in front of his business. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So now you're telling me to answer my earlier question that was purely coincidental that you did it in front of his business. Yes, I put them in other places. I put them on, okay, like a bridge. It's the same thing. This is all the same thing. And he's just like trying to get her to confess to something like evil and diabolical. And meanwhile, you, sir, should be the one who is on trial. I don't even know to tell you the truth. We have a bunch of little ducks. They were literally like the same ones that we found at the place. We kept one. Yep. And then it was like we literally have these. So where did you get these ducks? Amazon. Amazon. So she confessed to that. Instead of leaving her alone, he continued to harass and intimidate her in front of her kids, knowing her husband wasn't there. So that was the other thing too, is like these guys love intimidating women. They do. All of these officers and the MSP, they have an issue. They all have a real issue with women. They do. The Canton Select Board, the Canton Police Audit Committee, all of these guys have problems with women speaking up. All of these, that's why they hate Karen Reed so much. They hate it. They hate that she's a woman. They hate that she is a strong female and that she will not quit and she will not back down. They hate strong women. They all want Lizzie Proctors. They all want these women to be just good old girls who just, sit at home, wait for their man, stand by your man kind of gals. That's the kind of women they like, right? So they can just walk all over them like doormats. Well, these women are not. They are strong. So that's why he rolled up on her when her husband wasn't home. So you purchased them on Amazon. When did you purchase them? I don't know. Now I'm starting to feel very uncomfortable. Why do you feel uncomfortable? Because you're interrogating me, dude. Like, I'm not arrested. And this is the issue too, is like, and why I think these things are so important to cover too, is because people don't know their rights. And that's scary. That's scary because even going into this, there wasn't a lot I knew about the justice system or how court of law even worked. And the more and more we dig into this stuff, the more I'm starting to understand what my rights are as a citizen. And it's absolutely terrifying. But just know you don't have to tell these guys anything. You don't have to answer any of their questions. You can ask for an attorney. And I think it's great that she's expressing, and it's all on camera, that she's uncomfortable. And he's continuing to push and push. That's harassment. She's uncomfortable. That's harassment. That's how you define it, clearly. Because I feel like I'm being put on the spot for something that was innocent. Now I feel like I don't need to say much more. Okay, that's fine if you feel that way, but I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it. You want to get him? He's going towards the neighbor's lawn. Yeah, I probably, with the mower. I probably should. Yeah. So the kid's like running away towards the lawnmower, and he's like, why? This is so unnecessary. Like, to make you feel like a big strong man, Yuri? Like, come on now, bro. You're a loser. All right. Well, again, because of the messaging on it, the one that you placed in front of his business, like, this guy is a terrible detective. Can I just say his questions are repetitive. They don't go anywhere. He doesn't know how to build rapport with potential witnesses. He doesn't know how to build rapport with the person that he's trying to investigate. And that's why, like, he sucks. He sucks as a detective. He sucks. He sucks, and it leads me to believe more and more is, like, are they, like, evil masterminds, or are they just dumb? Like, I do think that he's just one of the puppets, the many puppets in the MSP. He's just an idiot. Like, these are the worst questions I've ever read. You're asking the same things. Did you write it? Like, she's answered, like, the same things, like, over and over. On this particular one, I'm not sure. I could have. You could have. So you wrote FKR on the duck, and then you left it in front of the business. You see how that looks? Do you see how you look right now? You look like a douche canoe, bro. I can see how you might interpret that, but that is not intent at all. So what was the purpose about writing? Like, again, like she said, free Karen Reed. She thought it was a cute little thing. Like, back off. Like, go home, dude. Go hang out with your buddies in your group chat. Hold on, hold on. Just let me finish the question. What an asshole. Oh, excuse my language, but like, what an a hole. How dare you're interrupting her? Like, let her freaking answer, bro. Just let me finish the question. You did. So what was the purpose about writing? You asked the question. That was pretty much the question, bro. Purpose of writing for you can't read. Going to Canton, leaving the duck as a message in front of the witness. You're also a witness in the same case. I can't with these people. Blank did not know that was where the bench was. I did not know. So you did not know D&E Pizza and the reference to Chris Alford and this guy is so freaking damn, so damn. When she pointed out how ridiculous it was for him to be doing this over rubber ducks, you told her it wasn't just about the ducks, it was about upholding the justice. Guys, I can't. This is so horrible. I feel so bad for this poor woman. Don't be afraid. We got you. Like, this is never going to go anywhere, so don't worry. These are just bullies trying to brandish their micro peepees. Of course, I knew that there was Chris Albert in the case, but I did not know that his pizza shop was next to CF McCarthy's. I did not. Okay. She said that multiple times. Like, I don't know what else you want her to say. Like, fair, like, I don't know what else I can say. No, I have to ask these questions because these are the questions that I understand my superiors are gonna wanna know. A court will wanna know. So that's why I have to ask these questions to the court. Yes, for ducks. Well, it's not just the ducks, it's the message. To me, it is. I get it. But it's not just ducks. It's other. It's other harassment, intimidation these people have suffered through only because they did their, the right thing by upholding the justice system and participating in a criminal investigation based on what they witnessed. Okay. Yeah, they were upholding the justice system, bro. They would have came out. Brian Albert would have come out of his house, a former first responder, and would have potentially saved John O'Keefe's life. If they were upholding actually, even backtracking before that, they were upholding the justice system, they wouldn't have unalived him in the first place. They wouldn't have. So, I don't okay. And if you were upholding the justice system, you would have told the truth about that inverted Sally Port video. But you done didn't, dude. You didn't. The terrible stuff that they have lived through. Yeah, okay, their life is so terrible. Chris Albert is still sitting on the select board. Give me a frickin' break. And I in no way tried to perpetuate that. Okay, you have my word. Did you purchase these ducks for a certain like it's oh my god, this guy. Like did you are you at all educated? At all like I would love to know. Your social skills are impeccable. Like you don't know how to finish a sentence. Like you don't know how to complete a full thought. What's the reason why you purchased these ducks? I have kids. We have we have crates of toys. She said this a million times. Um yeah, he works at a place where everyone is a white he should have added white bald man. And he's one of the only ones with hair. And a culture exists where perverts like Michael Proctor can openly objectify women by making jokes about their body and bowel movements. Just read this exchange to understand the power imbalance. Okay, so you brought these tiny ducks in a Ziploc bag in your purse to say if McCarthy's to have your children play with those ducks. My children are not that. No, like I said, we had stepped on one at the waterfall. So I am like I thought this was like a chain letter, if you will, like a cute little thing that people are leaving around, like with a free Karen Reed message on it. Listen, this is starting to put me in a very strange position where I feel like you're putting my words against me, and I don't know what else you would like me to say. I'm not turning your words against you. Yes, you are, dude. I'm actually putting it into context. What transpired? And to be honest, I don't need to be answering these questions. No, you do not, girl. And I am because I have nothing to hide. So if you could I get it. If you wanna if you could just tell me what you plan to do with this info I'm giving you, I would really appreciate it. My plan is to compile all the evidence, compile all the statements provided, and then present it to the court for a hearing where these charges they're not going to stick. They're going to drop. Have the courts decide whether or not there's enough to press charges against me, against anyone and everyone that's breaking the law. Against me. Against anyone and everyone that's been breaking the law. How did I break the law? It's up to the courts to decide, you know? If we feel there's enough probable cause, we bring that evidence in the form of, reports, videos, and other evidence into the courts. And the courts decides whether or not there's enough to press charges. That's how the system is set up. That's how it should be set up, but that's not how you guys set it up. I think if you could see from my life that I'm not the type of person, I do not care. Like I have my own life. I'm not out. I get it. Following Turtle Boy around. I'm not because that's what they want to say. This big grand conspiracy. I know you're not following Turtle Boy around. That's creepy. How do you know about that? I know that. I know that. We still took it upon yourself to write a message, FKR, free Karen Reed, on a little duck and leave it in Canton Center, whether you knew about where D&E Pizza was and who the owner of of D&E Pizza was. As you claim you didn't know, it doesn't matter. You still did that. You still, at the very least, littered. You deposited rubbish in the street. Charge me with littering. To be completely honest, I had no idea. There was zero intent. I don't know what else to tell you. Exactly. Did you leave ducks anywhere else? Like, she answered all these freaking questions, dude. One at CF McCarthy. So you left one at CF McCarthy's place where John and Karen were drinking before. So you're the one who's making it a thing, bro. Oh my god, I was eating at CF McCarthy's. You were. I got your transactions. I'm not trying to lie to you. I know you're not. We have it on video. You can't. It really doesn't matter, right? Right. So I'm being honest with you. I know you are. I know. I don't think it's funny. But I'm just saying you left the duck at CF McCarthy's. You left. blank stop. I guess to the kid. A duck in front of the D&A pizza, and then you said on the bridge further down the street. Yes. Your mom also said about another location in the bush. Is that accurate as well? I don't remember. I don't remember there being a bush. Hi. Okay, so this is the husband. Hi, how you doing? So the dynamic changed as soon as the woman's husband came home. He immediately stood up, pointing out that the rubber ducky was dropped on a public sidewalk, to which Buchanan only response was, okay, yep. Hey, how's it going? Good. Sergeant Buchanan with state police. Blank, nice to meet you. Okay, all right. Were those the only would you just like to recap him on what? I will, but I just want to finish first. So those were the only locations you've left ducks. Yeah, Buchanan. Okay, all right. You didn't go to any other town, any other locations, any other in front of CF McCarthy's, D&E Pizza, and down the street by the bridge. What's up? Right, but when you say in front of D&E Pizza, I was like, on the bench, yes, on Washington Street. On a, public bench, public crosswalk, sidewalk, yeah, okay, yes, okay, yep, yeah, like, that's it, done. And then he came out, videotaped them, harassed them. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, correct? Yeah. Mhm. Okay, he came out of his restaurant. Nobody went into his restaurant. He came out of his restaurant, then took a photo and a videotaped them illegally. Just want to be sure. What's illegal about that? Buchanan, that's a really great question. What's illegal about filming people in a public sector? Nothing. There's nothing illegal about that. You know how we know that? Because Turtle Boy was asking Jen McCabe while filming her about what happened. Their Google search. House long to die in cold. We already know that. So you can't be playing two sides of the same coin. You cannot be playing that. You can't on the one hand say, "Oh, well, that's not illegal," but then when it serves you, but when it doesn't serve you, then it's illegal? Then it's harassment? Then it's intimidation? Well, how are the two things not the same then? I mean, at least you're not a lawyer because you'd be terrible at it, but you're a pretty crap detective, I gotta say. You were pretty dumb, my guy. You can just videotape anybody on the public sidewalk. So again, some people don't even know this. That's apparently what's been happening. Yeah, it's a First Amendment right. Yeah, it is. All right. And you can be videotaped, and so can Jen McCabe. And so can Chris Albert and his pizza shop. And so can Matt McCabe. And so can you, Yuri. So can you. So then you can probably put a duck anywhere sit, right? So how is this not my First Amendment? Yes! Yes! Get it, girl! I'm sorry, you were both talking at the same time. Sorry, are you a little bit slow there, my guy? Like, open up your freaking ears, bro. One at a time, please. Like, I hate this guy. He just undermines like everybody. He became a cop because it makes him feel more like a man. This is the kind of guy that Yuri Buchanan is. He became a cop because he was probably bullied as a kid that nobody wanted to be friends with because he would pick his nose and eat his boogers and then pick his ears and then eat that too. That's probably why he became a cop. And he probably still has that little boy too. Probably still picks his nose and eats his boogers. What's not your First Amendment rights? The duck. Well, when you're harassing, intimidating witnesses in an active, how is that harassing? Yes. Oh, the irony of all of this. We're almost done, guys. I love this. I love this couple. Go get them. But I was not harassing or intimidating anyone. I can't explain it enough times how it was something I thought was cute. That I had seen before. Yeah, at the waterfall. That I did. I see. So you just copied somebody else's actions. Yeah. And I did not find, when I saw that, I did not find that to be harassment or witness intimidation or anything like that. Okay, all right, okay, that's your take on it. Again, it's not up to me to decide. It's not, well, you got a question, sir. I want to make sure I address both of you guys. Like, okay. Well, it was the same one, you know what I mean? I just don't understand how when he did come out of his what he did coming out of a restaurant, two people are walking on a public crosswalk. Yeah. And coming out, nobody went up to them, right? He went up to them. Yeah. Chris Albert called this woman a loser, as he always does, because that's his go-to, and that's what bullies do, is they always have to stoop lower. But as Buchanan pointed out, he's allowed to do that to you, but the second you do that to him, you're breaking the law. You see, somebody's life was taken, and Chris witnessed it, despite the fact that not a single witness says they saw or heard John being unalived, nor did they see his body lying on Brian Albert's lawn just a few feet away from the curb. Chris is a special person who you can't criticize because he's endured incredible harassment, intimidation, and threats to his life. If he really felt that way, he would not be sitting on the select board. Just saying, right? If you're really afraid, because there's a lot of people who come on those things, even via Zoom, who have strong opinions about him. And if you were really that scared and threatened for your life and so upset, you would not be on the select board. You'd be hiding. You would. You'd put your house up for sale and you'd get out of Dodge. Like you would. You just would. Um, what did he call you? A loser? I feel like a loser? He said real mature loser. Yeah, real mature loser. I don't know, something. Yeah, real mature. Real mature, real mature. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah. This is such a dumb conversation. Um, this is so pointless. To put it to context, because they've been dealing with a year of plus blank we can't play with. So she's talking to the kid. Non-stop harassment, threats, intimidation, strictly, as I've told your wife about, strictly because they were witnesses in a homicide case. Somebody's life was taken. Oh, so now you seem to regard. Now there's no disregard for John O'Keefe's life. Say his name. How about we normalize that? Like, say her name, say Sandra Birchmore's name, and let's say John O'Keefe's name. Let's say Officer John O'Keefe. He was the life that was taken. These alleged friends of John O'Keefe's, because they loved and respected him so much, right? So much so that they couldn't bother to attend his funeral. Real respect. They witnessed it, and they were part of the investigation, so they did, their civic duty and testified to their observations. So they endured credible harassment, intimidation, and threats to their life, their loved ones' lives. So they feel very attacked. Jill Daniels brought herself into this. Nobody even knew about Jill Daniels before she inserted herself and her boyfriend into all of this. So, I mean, I don't know who else you're talking about. Like, everybody, and not for nothing, you should be mad at Morrissey then, because he's the one who decided to indict Karen Reed on all these charges, and Adam Lally and everybody in the DA's office who put their witness list together. They didn't need to call all those people. So, if anything, you should be angry with them. They should be angry with them. With that family. Making their kids go up on the stand, right? Testifying, Allie McCabe, all that. But they also were there. They were in the house. When you send a message as such a free Karen Reed, free Karen FKR, like you said, you put on a little duck that you put it in front of the business there. He took it as, well, she's taking this as very uncomfortable. This is an uncomfortable situation. This feels like harassment. So can't she sue for harassment, right? There's a video camera. He's constantly surveilling his property, because how would he know what was on the duck? Well, because it was picked up. We saw that. We saw the message on the duck. Did he pick it up when you were there? I don't know. Or did he just see you put a duck down? I don't know. So it's video recorded. I have the video. So you just assume that a duck was there, and that's what no, the police came and, all right, we're not assuming anything. We're going off of evidence. Okay. Yeah, okay. Because that's what you do. No, I'm saying he assumes Chris Albert, or is that what's his Chris Albert? Yeah. Assumed that they put the duck on a bench and that duck said FK, FKR. Am I correct? and that he came out and then he recorded the videotapes. His after that, his video surveillance is constantly recording. Okay, what about all the ring camera footage? Isn't that supposed to be constantly recording? Right, but he did, but right, but did. I guess what he's asking is, did he pick up the duck before he started recording us? The video recording is constantly going. Right. Okay, so when he said real mature, I don't know if he was recording. It's not captured. You recorded me with this phone. With this phone, okay? Yeah. And I also would like to know, because this is something I've been thinking about. Is this is how is oh, okay, I guess she meant, is this how a state police matter and not a Canton police matter? Yes. Yeah, why isn't the Canton police investigating this? It's highly prioritized crime. I can't answer that for you, but I could only venture, well, you can't answer that because if you did answer that, you would get caught red-handed because your buddy Chris texted his baby buddy, baby Yuri Buchanan, for help. As we detectives in the DA's office, we investigate homicide. As this isn't a homicide, though. Being relative to the investigation, the witnesses, and the you are also a witness, bro. See, to me, this feels like intimidation to me. So you feel intimidated by me talking to you? I feel intimidated. But you leaving ducks in front of blank, not. I feel intimidated by you showing up at my house with a GUN. Yes, girl. 3 times. Yes. All of this for putting down a duck instead of a Canton police coming. Instead of the Canton police coming and the state police, you clearly testified in the case. Yes, girl. Get it. You're involved in the case. Yes, I am. You come to my house about a little duck that was put down, makes me feel intimidated. How am I intimidating you? It's a duck. It's a duck. But how are you intimidated by a duck? Exactly. Exactly what you just said. Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. This is great. I love it. Exactly. How are you intimidated by a duck? Yeah, but you're not involved in the case. So people messaging on the duck and leaving it in front of the business. Nobody came to your house and left anything on your steps, right? A duck. But it did happen to some Canton residents. People were throwing balloons that actually, come to find out, I don't think it was bleach. It was like a even more like poisonous chemical that was inside those balloons that people were throwing onto folks like Rita Lombardi's lawn, right? And was destroying their lawn and their property. How come no criminal charges have been pressed onto those people? Has there been any follow up into that? I mean, that's actually scary and threatening. That is a dangerous chemical. Little rubber duckies. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy boy. A duck. It could have been a balloon filled with a dirty chemical. Yeah, right. I know. You've been coming to my house. We didn't leave it in his business. And I said, left it on the bench. 6. I said several times on a public bench. Did not even know that that was his bench, right? The public bench? Yeah, public bench. Yeah. Okay. I failed to see, like, I'm sorry if he was upset by it. I really am. That was not my intent. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Like, I am in no way like, you see what a waste of time this is for you guys. And look, I listen, I do see it. I do see it. You just got to tell me this guy grow up. You just got to tell this guy grow up, move on, let's go. Blank enough, but he wasn't having it. um well, we tried to tell people to grow up and move on, and it doesn't work because he's continued to harass people. So he's talking about Turtle Boy. Continue to intimidate people and continue to call people repeatedly. It's just, there's a reason why we're here. Believe me, I don't want to be here. Well, if you don't want to be there, then don't be there, bro. You could probably be solving actual crimes like what happened within the MSP Recruit Academy. But oh yeah, they had to hire a outside outside office, right, to investigate that. I don't wanna be here. I know you people are probably wonderful people and you just got caught up in the hysteria, the media, the exposure of it, and when hey, don't do we see stuff on TV, don't when we see stuff on TV, we kinda get desensitized to it and not realizing these are real people, real lives. Okay, yeah, exactly. So it seems like you're pretty desensitized to the fact that these are real people just trying to live their lives. And they have emotions. Oh, poor babies. They have, who else had emotions? Officer John O'Keefe and his niece and his nephew, who now have to grow up without any parental figure in their life. So there's that. I bet they have tons of emotions about what happened to their uncle. I bet they do. They feel attacked. They feel like their civil liberties have been violated by all of the hoopla. Oh my god, he actually said hoopla, firing around it. I understand. I understand. This woman's being way too nice to him. He's a hole. If you had people protesting in front of your house, how would you feel, right? I understand. You know who else had people protesting outside of his house? Brian Laundrie, who we just talked about in my last video too. And guess what? Nobody got hit with a witness intimidation charge. Nobody. I don't recall any of that, or a harassment charge. None of that, because it's a public street. It's not like they're camping out on this person's front lawn or camping inside D&E Pizza, harassing the workers, trashing the place. Yeah, then that would be harassment and a crime. Making death threats? No. I understand, but again, I did not want to put that on his property, and I didn't even know that when I put the duck down, it was his property. This is my honest to God, I guess, mistake. Well, Will, right? So, okay, I don't know what else more I can say. Like, I know you answered my questions. I appreciate your time. I hope my answers were, adequate for you guys. I mean, I don't even know what you accomplished out of this, dude. Like, I really hope that the judge does the right thing and just throws this out, because this is terrible. This is a terrible example of how you treat your community. The people who are literally paying for you and for your lifestyle, buddy. But just what we have to do, because we have to enforce the laws and maintain order and civil order in our societies, because if we don't, the next episode of the I'm not saying with this, oh my gosh, his case, but the next episode that happens will be 10 times worse, because nothing was done right now. I understand you understand that I understand that, and you wouldn't want me to be on the other side of things as a victim. What? Never mind a witness that just witnessing a crime taking place testified to that crime and then being harassed and intimidated. What the heck is he talking about? That feels like a threat. You wouldn't want to be on the other side of things as a victim. Oh, yeah, never mind a witness. Yeah, that's like gross. I get that, how manipulative. He probably manipulated his wife into marrying him. I can't see how any woman would remotely find this man attractive. And not just because I'm a lesbian, but because like he is literally a disgusting man who probably reeks of Axe body spray. Can you summarize what next steps are? Yes, I said before, I guess I'm sorry. What you did, you say it was blank. So for blank's benefit, the next step would be me writing up the summary of our interactions, putting all the evidence together, conclude the transaction receipts that you prove you guys were actually there. And I'm like, harassing you, making it up that you weren't there, that didn't put the duck down, anything like that. I'm not saying I was not, and I went to CF McCarthy's. Yeah, I'm clearly cooperating. Yeah, now you're cooperating. You're cooperating, absolutely. I'll present to the court. If the court deems it is enough for charges to be brought forth, they will decide and they will bring charges. If not, it's gonna go away, okay? And then our conversation, hopefully you took something away from it. That's threatening. That is freaking threatening. I know I always take something away from each conversation that I have with people, and we go from there. In your professional experience and opinion, is this something that I am not at liberty to discuss my professional opinion and experience at this time? Hold on, I need a sip of water. My throat is on fire. But human message is put yourself in those people's shoes. All right. Be as an adult. We look back at what's going on. Be logical, have a critical thinking mind, analyze what's going on, put yourself in these people's shoes, and if you would be okay with something like that happening to you, if you would be okay with something happening in your family and your loved ones, how would you feel about that? That's all I say. Heart to heart, human to human. That's all I'm saying. And that's it. What about Karen Reed's feelings about how you're all infringing on her freaking rights? Right. I know. I get that, but I just think this is ridiculous at this point. Like, we're not picketing and we're not doing anything. That's you're right. You're right. There's other people doing that. Right. Other people doing this, but I don't want to take the fall for other people doing something that I guess she's saying like I'm not participating in. Listen, you're not taking the fall for other people's actions, but isn't she though? Like you're trying to make an example out of her. I would never do that to you. Okay, I would not put forward charges because somebody else did something. But as an adult, you have to realize that you're part of a group of people that you didn't part of a group of people. So they're going with the cult mentality, right? Like we're a cult, we're crazy, we're part of the big large conspiracy group that's trying to take down the good guys when really it's the exact opposite. You didn't do the harassing phone calls, you didn't do the sending messages, you didn't do the sending a mail, but you left a duck with a clear message. You know what a clear message would be is like Chris Albert, like some kind of like clear threat. FKR is not a threat. That is an opinion. That is an opinion. So you have very, very small portions of this, but it's the totality of it. These people have been enduring this for since last. I don't care. Nobody cares about them because they're friggin' liars. They're liars and they don't have any sense of compassion for the life that they covered up, that one of them took. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion. If your loved ones' lives were put in that scenario, I think you'd feel differently about it. Not blaming you. I get it. It's very easy to get caught up in the social media. Like he's so manipulative and he's terrible at it. Like he's just terrible at it. And sensationalized aspect of like, yeah, it's on every podcast, it's on every news channel, but those are real lives that are being affected. And so is Karen Reed. Like everybody, do you not forget that she's innocent until proven guilty? Well, guess what, buddy boy? She hasn't been proven guilty. So you should be giving her and showing her the same grace and respect. And if you really believe in civil liberties and you really believe in the justice system, then you would let the justice system work itself out with that instead of trying to harass and intimidate innocent people like this poor woman and her husband and her elderly mother. I understand that they are, and that's why I'm saying it was extremely innocent on our part. Okay, again, that's why I'm not making a decision. I can only put it together. We were notified about it. I'm going to put it all together, give it to the courts. They will do what they will do with it. Okay. Okay. All right. What time should I be? There's no time frame. I mean, the court system is probably backed up. I would think 2, 3 months. If a decision is made before that, and I am aware, out of respect for you guys, based on how cordial and polite you've been, how forthcoming you've been in cooperating, I will give you a call and tell you. I wonder if he did about it, and hopefully that you don't reoffend or don't take action that would rise to the same level of a intimidation harassment. Blank, you need to stop. I'm sorry. Oh, I was telling my kid to stop. And then I guess the other question is that what charges can be brought, if any? What, if any? I don't want to give you false hope, false sense of charges that are possible, so I don't want to comment on that either. I really don't. Um, it's not just your mom. It's not just your dad. At that point you guys were together, but there was an event that was significant right before you guys walked by and did. But what is happening with Chris Albert and the fact that he literally was actually harassing them? Like, what about that? Confronting them. So what leads, reasonable? And I can tell you I had zero and I am still not even sure about what that is. It's concrete. My son is in preschool that day. My daughter is at camp. I went to lunch with my parents. Yeah, I had no idea what happened the day before, and I'm still not quite sure what happened the day before. It wasn't the day before. It was right before you guys walked by. It was right before. The interrogation ended by telling them that people routinely lie to him when he asked them questions. Same day, same day. I had no idea. All right. I believe that. I believe it. But from our perspective, we have to investigate. How ironic. The irony. You can take my word. I take your word. From our perspective, we have to investigate everything, and, believe me when I tell you people lie to us. Yeah, including people that you're texting, people who hit you up and see if you can investigate Duckygate. And I'm not saying that I don't believe you, but I'm saying, people lie to us, so we have to take the evidence and the facts for what they are. Okay. Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate your time. Nice to meet you, and thank you for your time. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yep, thanks. Thank you, take care. Which is exactly why he chose never to interview Colin Albert, Caitlin Albert, or Brian Albert Jr., Tristan Morris, or a plethora of other witnesses. He didn't want to force them to lie. By the way, this is how big the rubber duckies were in comparison to a ball and a kitchen counter. Very teeny tiny. How scary! How scary, these duckies! Wow, they are even smaller than I thought. They're baby duckies. Smaller than the microscopic pieces of tailite Proctor planted on John O'Keefe's pullover. Exactly. Exactly. And he's right. This should be a much bigger story. State police are out of control. Um, Two attorneys did announce, yeah, we covered that here on this page in 2026. So who knows? I mean, who knows? But if you want to read the whole story, I will link it below. I know we kind of skipped around a little bit just to get through the transcript. There was a lot there, but yeah, I think more people need to be talking about not just what is going on in the Karen Reed case, but also what is going on to these people who are practicing their First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, there, um, in rightfully expressing their opinion, right? How is it any different than people like me coming on YouTube and ranting about what I think and that's why I put out this disclaimer at the beginning of every video. These are my opinions, you know, based on what I'm observing and analyzing and the data and the evidence and all of that and witness testimony. This is what I feel is true because nobody else did their due diligence to find the truth except for the man who is reporting on stuff like this. So definitely go check out that article. Let's not stop talking about this because these people, the people of Canton, the people of Massachusetts, period, need as much support, as many eyeballs on this as possible because big media news is not going to be covering Duckygate. So, but with that being said, if you enjoyed today's content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next update on Duckygate from me. And make sure you hit that like button because, like I said, this is newsworthy news. It tells the YouTube algorithm to push it out to more and more people. The more people that like the like button, even if you don't watch the whole video, it helps get the story out to as many people as possible. Because again, this could be you, this could be me, it could be your loved one in any situation where you're expressing your First Amendment rights, which you have every single right to do here in the USOA. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.